Right, part 2, sanding. Next one we're going to start, we're going to take this apart. I'll take this pickup out, all this lead here. I'm going to get a nice clean surface. We're going to start off with some simple P60 sort of rough grain sandpaper in a nice little block. And we're going to take this outside to do so. On the back of this, there is a rounded surface, unlike in the front. You see there? So we've got to be aware of that, and I may even put an old belly cut in here using this grain here to guide me. But it's quite a coarse sand and the first time, so it will take a good bit of material off so we can get a nice bit of a shape there. And being aware of different discolorations, trying to get these out and things like that as well. Trying to get to a nice even surface. So next one is this to be removed. Always good to have a set of useful screwdrivers. Boing. Right, closer examination. Screws are all off. Lipstick pickup. Do I really want to use it? Because it's routed for a humbucker. Now, let's just get that out of there real gently. They're not the ultimate pickups in the world, but I've seen worse. You'll see what the story is there. Now, because it's me, I just happen to have some spare humbuckers. I've actually got 2 or 3 of them. These ones are pretty good. They're a good approximation of the old Gibsons. Ready to roll. Might have to remove these little brackets here to fit them in, or do a little bit wide in there. We could make this work. But look at the right length of cable, right length of wiring. No big deal. I don't know. We could keep Richards this one if we needed to. It's a decision for later on. What do you think? Humbuckers, lipstick. Humbuckers, lipstick. And now sanding. Starting with P60, working way down to a medium into a fine, and then hopefully tonight into an extra fine on the top at least. Here we go. Humbuckers, lipstick. Humbuckers, lipstick. Outside we go. Too sunny today, I don't like it. As you can see, it's nice grain in this. Right? And the back is a lot better finished than the front was. So you can see that rounded edge now coming up. And you can see there, this is where the difficulty is, because that's ever so slightly, get it in focus. Ever so slightly off kilter there. I mean, it's a cheaply made instrument, but it's a nice little bit of wood that's been inserted in. It's actually wood, which is interesting. I thought it was plastic at first. Get a better show of how it's finished. It's not a bad finish. You can see with the difference how it was there. You can see very, very open here. And you can see the smoother surface coming out now. Gone through, actually went on to a heavier grade. It's actually a P20, 120 grit, which is a lot harder to go through, but it's taken a lot more off. It's actually bringing the grain out quite nicely. And there's Minion. Say hello. Yeah. Wondering where all the dust is. She's chasing shavings and stuff. You can see that this hasn't been done, this hasn't been finished, and this side has. But you can see it's very porous. And basically what this means is all the grains are starting to stand up like that. So when you catch them, you bring a little bit more down, a little bit more down. When you eventually put in a bit of staining, it should catch that, and the first coat will soak in like a sponge and it will act like a primer. I'm only going to do wood stain on this one. I'm not going to do any paint. And a nice lacquer, might even go nitrocellulose, something like that. Something that might craze and age over time. Anyway, I'm happy with the front for now. That little time lapse actually is about an hour. 3 different grits. I'll come in with a fine one all over at the end. Back to work. Sandpaper. Never be afraid to wipe the fucking stuff down because it will kill you eventually. Blend out. It's a disposable item, but it's worth getting as much use out of it as possible. Good thing about these blocks is it gives you a nice little radius on one side, square on the other. They're awesome. £3. Solid plastic, resin, lasts a lifetime. Good idea. Right. Time lapse. As you can see, there's not a bad finish on it now. The grains come out a little bit better. I'm not sure if this camera will pick it up, but coarse sandpaper, so you can see it there, leaves a sort of scratching into the wood. So this is the first pass. Then we get into a little bit finer. See there? You can see where it is on the edge of the routing there. That's all going to be finished with a file, particularly that corner right there. And you can see, good to have it in the sun, you can see it at angles. The back came out a lot better than the front because obviously there's a lot less trauma to it with routing and the like. You can see how open and porous it really is. A couple of mineral deposits in the wood, but you know, it'll come out nice in the stain. You can actually see the grain coming out that wasn't there earlier on. See the scratches? They'll all be gone in about an hour. Next. And there were some things I know that you probably were watching. Might have a question about. Every now and again you saw me reaching for a pencil and just doing things like this. And that's because it's where a high mark is. And I can see it straight away to even it out. Like here was another one. And that's actually a knot that was further up in the wood that you can't get rid of. But there's other ones like, try and feel them out. There's another one there. So I know that I have to get that one. I have to get that one to make it even as this. Let's try and find another one for you. Yeah, but not too bad at the moment actually. This isn't too bad because it's going to be covered up by the plate with the pickup in there, and this one is going to have a scratch plate on it. So this I don't really have to worry too much about, but I'm going to stain it anyway. So this is a divot in the wood. Let's give it a go anyway. Not too bad. This side's a bit rougher than this side. I need to go more harder on this one. There's one there. Another dark thing. It's nice grain up. Happy with this. There's another one. Right, next time you see this, this should be finished. still too sunny. Right, successful day. As you can see, this is what it now looks like. It's even got a bit of a shine to it. It's a lot smoother than it was. All those horrible fibres have been teased out of it. You can see a lot more of the grain, which is nice. Very smooth, particularly on the back. The back is actually really, really nice. See that there? Yeah, so we're looking at a good few hours, which you've seen in time lapse as to represent the work. This is now effectively ready for staining. But I'm going to do the neck before I do any of that, because it's all going to be stained together. Still haven't decided yet on the humbucker conundrum, but we should figure that one out as it goes. See a couple of little nooks and crannies that may require a little filing action, but the routing's a lot better than it was. And as I say, with the in fact, I'll do it just for the sake of it. Bear with me. When you put the scratch plate on, you can see exactly what was the contrast, and it's actually making a decision for me on how I'm going to actually finish painting this. Hold that in place. It's got a really nice classic look, and I'm tempted to do something along the lines of a clear coat, or maybe even a sunburst finish. I was going to go green, but I'm not quite sure now. We shall see. When you lay this out with all the chrome on it as well, it's actually really, really nice. But humbucker does require me modifying this scratch plate. But that's for another day. Join me in part 3 to the neck.